Hey guys, welcome back to My Anime Heroes Customs. We have something new this week, a long overdue original concept figure, a crossover between Naruto and Bleach. We have Sage of Six Paths Vasto Lorde Ichigo. A very badass concept and I'm very excited to bring this to life. Hope you guys enjoy this. It'll be the 108th commission project. Join my Patreon if you want to see more builds and customs in the future. Names of patrons will be included at the end of every video as a thank you for their support on this channel. Check out link in description box below if you want to support my work. I thank you in advance and cheers! For our materials, I'm using a Dasin Bankai Ichigo and Shfiguarts 3D printed head sculpt. In creating these Bleach customs, we are very lucky that Dasin already provided us a good base figure for Ichigo. And my client sent this Sage of Six Paths Vasto Lorde photo from the internet and he wanted me to recreate this and bring this to life. And also, we are using a 3D printed Vasto Lorde head sculpt by my partner Shfiguarts. And let's look at the scale of this. This looks perfect. I really like how it sizes up with the body. And I think this will be a very quick and fairly easy custom for me to make. So with that being said, let's head on to our next step, which is spraying a primer gray on to the head sculpt so that we can see the details and we can see what we need to clean up. So that's next, let's go. Upon spraying our primer gray, now we can see the head sculpt more clearly. We can see that we need to clean up a little bit of excess plastic on the horns and on the top of the head, but regardless, it's a very clean head sculpt. Now our next step is to spray this a primer white base so that once we layer on to the yellow, it will stick well and we will have a vibrant yellow color for the head sculpt. While the head sculpt is drying in paint, we can now start working on our base body. We will start with the Dasin Bankai Ichigo, which has the perfect scale and perfect clothing for this custom. I think the inner body has to be repainted, so we will take off the top jacket, and based on the design of the Sage of Six Paths Vasto Lorde Ichigo, we will retain his pleated pants, which already saves me a lot of time and workload on this figure. That's why the main point of using the Dasin Ichigo is because of the clothing. It's already made and it's already there. This is what it looks like underneath that top jacket. Now I will need to do a repaint of the torso. I need to have the base in black because he will have some deep yellow striped details on the front of his chest later. So I will be repainting that, and I will be modifying the pants a little bit because the belt needs to be in yellow and he will have a yellow stripe going along the pleated pants. That's why I have this thin yellow mustard like fabric, and I will make that strip later, replace the belt, and I might shave off those details on his Japanese slippers so that we will replace it with some feet that looks like claws. A lot of things to do, but let's go. For working on the clothing, I shaved off the details on the torso and shaved off majority of the details on his feet because I will cut this up and make it sharp so that we will have toes that looks like claws on his feet, and we repaint this in black and yellow. I'm using this template and a yellow cotton spandex fabric to make and replace the top that came with the Dasin Ichigo. So I need this to be in yellow. I cut 3 pieces of the template and sewed each one on each side so to make a big opening in big like trench coat style, and then sew it all together, and then once we flip it, we'll fit it to the body and it looks something like this. I really like the proportion. I made everything a little bit bigger so that I will just need to adjust everything, and it will go across over his front of the chest, and it will have a big trail that will be posable, and I'll adjust my final measurements and my edges. And fast forward on the work that I've done on the pants. I've added the yellow strip in front of the pleated pants. I've cut up the bottom part of the pants so that it has an effect, and replace the yellow belt. Ta-da! And another fast forward, I've combined the lower part of the body to the upper torso that I've already glued onto the painted black torso with yellow stripes, and I've already cut up, a little bit of battle damage on his trail. Now I just need to add wires onto the front of the trail so that it will be posable, and one of the final things that I have to do is to add another layer of skirt underneath that yellow trail so that it has two layers and that it will cover up the holes that I've made, the battle damage that I've made on that yellow skirt. It looks kind of like this, and I'm really glad that I was able to find a waterproof black skirt that matches the fabric that came with the Dancing Ichigo. It looks something like this. It's called a waterproof fabric, and it matches really well with the black kimono on the Dancing Ichigo. So I'm very happy about that. We are now on to the final details that we need for this costume. I just need to add a little bit more yellow details. This is to mimic the flaming light patterns of the Sage of Six Paths that Naruto has. And I will add his marks, for example the ones that he has on the sleeves, that sage, the black sage marks, and I'll be using the same thin fabric, the black fabric. And for accessories, we will just use the Zanpakuto that came with the Dancing Ichigo. This one I will just be repainting this in full black, but my client requested for a sheath to come with this costume, but it will be painted in yellow. So this is a paper straw that I will just modify so that we will have a working sheath for the Sage of Six Paths Vasto Lorde Ichigo. This is what the Vasto Lorde head sculpt looks like, painted in yellow. Now it's fully dry. Now I can add the details onto the face, and then we are done. Ta-da! Finally, he is done. We have Sage of Six Paths Vasto Lorde Ichigo. This costume will fall under the original concept characters. Looking at the full figure, I never really expected to make a one-of-a-kind figure like this that would cross over two of the best animes out there, I believe, in my opinion, Naruto and Bleach. Taking a look at the work around the body, I've shaved off the legs and made claw-like feet. Looking at the back, I've added the Sage of Six Paths mark at the back, and we can see the torn up tail and skirt. And we have the sheath that is workable. I've attached it to the side because the client requested for a working sheath for the Zanpakuto. And I've added a lot more details that mimic the Sage of Six Paths Naruto into this Vasto Lorde design. He looks so badass. I love it. Looking at the back, I made sure that the hole at the back of the Dancing Ichigo was being shown through the clothing because of the Truth Seeker Orb ring. If you want to see how I did this, you can check out my Sage of Six Paths Naruto video. I just did the fast forward so that I won't need to do a long video edit. And bam, he looks so good with the Truth Seeker Orb ring at the back. It completes the whole look, and I really enjoyed this build. I hope you guys enjoyed the look and how merging the two animes into this figure. Thank you for my client for this build, and what are we waiting for? Let's jump straight to action poses.